Ja? Ja.
Place because we want to start again. Wonderful. Before the break, we had the exchange of the visions they had. Now we're starting with the part, the heart. And to go into this field, this heart field, it's an honor to introduce to you Aganga Anga Korswak. Better say uncle, because, you know, I repeated this name many, many times, but still I have difficulty in pronouncing it. But uncle comes from Greenland, and he's a shaman, he's a healer, and carrier of the wind drum. He's an Eskimo Kalalat elder, whose family belongs to the traditional healers from the Kalalet Nunaat, Greenland. Being confronted with melting of the ice caps in his home country, he became an advocate for environmental awareness around the world. So he's traveling more outside of Greenland than being in Greenland to teach, to awake the awareness around the world the wisdom of the oral healing traditions of his people. One of his important statements is the great distance in the existence of man. It's not from where to there, or from there to here. No, the greatest distance within man is from the mind to the heart. Unless he conquers that distance, he can never learn to soar like an eagle and to experience the immensity from within. So please, the floor is yours, and you can open our hearts. Thank you.
My name is Anganga, and it means the man who looks like his uncle. And I do. I'm from the top of the world, just north of Holland. I don't know exactly, but maybe 7,000 kilometers only, give or take, depending on who's counting. There, where I come from, it's the only land on earth where people live, where there has never been war. The only land on earth where people live like you, but there has never been war. I don't know if you can imagine it. So the only thing we know as people is something elusive for you, called peace. Wouldn't it be amazing? And I would love to show it to you, a land of peace. Should you ever desire to meet peace, I would like to invite you. Come and visit me. But the Dutch people are very important to me. The Dutch people, we call them Bukit-Tommu, people of the lowlands. That's what you are, Bukit-Tommu. The economy based, I'm sure you learned it in school, is based on whaling. Dutch people are whalers. Thank goodness of Salon number 5 in Paris, because the Dutch people took the opportunity to make some money by whaling and sell it to the Salon number 5 people. So thus, the basis of the economy of Holland comes from whaling. Isn't that interesting? I'm sure you learn about it in school, so I don't have to tell you about it. So for us, it is very important for me to return to the people of the lowlands. I'm honored to be here. But before I do anything else, I just want to invoke my ancestors and your ancestors. Because where I was born, in Kurdistan, on the big island of Krakataushwa, in the southern part, we have blonde Eskimos. Their ancestors come from Bukit-Tommu. Isn't that amazing? The whalers, I didn't know that, I still don't know it how, but the whalers need women. So they had the Eskimo women. And today, in Krakataushwa, we have blonde Eskimos coming from Holland. So I would like to invoke your ancestors for having come to my land and meeting my people. Me, I will invite my ancestors, because you cannot live without your ancestors, nor can I. But can you imagine your ancestors and my ancestors meeting in this beautiful building? Just imagine. My grandmother, Annika, says, close your eyes to this world and open within. When you do, call your ancestors and they will come. And allow our ancestors to meet together in the land of Bukit Tumut, your land. How amazing it would be that my own family who are whalers meeting the whalers of Holland. This is the way I do it. Can you turn off this thing here? Ho ho! Ho ho! Ho ho! Ho! Welcome home.
Thank you so much, Anko, for introducing us. Volkert, we will be guiding and facilitating this session of the heart. And we would like to invite the panelists, the Archbishop of Cape Town, Rabbi Soetendorp, Ibrahim, Nicolas Fuchs, Chief Arvo Looking Horse, all to come on stage and to sit down here.
While you are being seated,
you are coming also on stage.
I would like to introduce you to the first speaker, Chief Arvo Looking Horse and his wife, Paula Horn. spiritual leader of the Sioux, 19th generation keeper of the white buffalo calf. I'm prophecy, please.
In our ways, everything starts in a circle, from an atom to the earth to the sun. And with that, it's a hoop that where it begins and it never ends. And folk had mentioned reading a book about black elk. I don't know if anybody else here has read about a prophet of our people. And as a young girl, I read about him and his vision of the sacred hoop. And I'd like to share with you the essence of our people in a song to honor all children, all of our children. Black Elk's vision of the sacred hoop had a powerful message. That maybe one day our sacred hoop would become mended. Oh, sacred colors that have a gift of beauty, colors representing nations embraced in winds, weaved in cloth, representing directions and nations. How is it that our sacred hoop became broken? Animal nations walking in harmony, dying on beaches. Two-legged, desperately trying to help them breathe life. Where did we go wrong? Or is wrong a way of life to help to appreciate right? As the eagle flies over, symbolizing strength, endurance, and nobility, so is it that the butterfly, together in beauty and gentleness, we should all learn to fly. We can mend the sacred hoop of life, but to respect and forgive are the medicines, and to love and honor Mother Earth and one another. This is for our children. That's for your children.
Blessings, greetings, the highest honors to be here. We come from North America. There is a sacred place called the heart of Mother Earth, the Sapa, the Black Hills of South Dakota. I am a spiritual leader. This headdress I'm wearing, not a war bonnet. We earn our feathers. The highest honor that we can give another person is an eagle feather. We have our ceremonies, the 4 seasons. We have followed the animal nation, and today, man has gone too far. Disrupt the cycle of life. We are coming into our prophecies, First Nations people, where we are at the crossroads. Either be faced with a lot of chaos, disasters, different sicknesses, viruses, fears from our relatives' eyes, or we can unite spiritually, this global community. Today we speak about the soil, the land. We don't own the land. The land owns us. We live under the Great Spirit, the Creator. We stand here under the sun with our 2 feet. That as we stand here, we honor the sacred knowledge that address the eagle feather. We spoke today about a prophecy, a message for the world, that Mother Earth is sick and has a fever. In a prophecy 19 generations ago, every generation is 100 years ago. 19 generations ago, the white buffalo calf woman brought a message. She brought the sacred bundle, an old ancient bundle that I take care of today. And in that prophecy, she said, someday I shall return and stand upon the earth as a white buffalo calf, white animals. So today, since 1994, almost every year, white buffalo calf was born, white animal was born, someplace in the world. That Mother Earth is speaking through the white animals, that we're supposed to be the voice for the animal nation. And today, we have brought that message here. The highest respect through our ceremonies, because it's affecting our ceremonies, the environment, the air. There's so much that's happening upon Mother Earth. But we ask each and every one of you can join us as we go back to our sacred sites on June 21st. I hope we can recognize June 21st as an international holiday. That same message. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your work and your tradition to open the heart. I think we need it. That there will be a change only in the hearts. And the other heart comes from South Africa. It's a great honor to welcome you here, Archbishop Magoba from Cape Town. He was appointed Anglican Archbishop of Cape Town in 2005. Is a personal friend of former Archbishop Desmond Tutu, and also a good friend of our passed away Mandela, President Mandela. He founded the Archbishop Thabo Magoba Development Trust, which strives for social justice, equality through education. And this month, the bishop was traveling again to Europe, to Bonn, because there were talks from the UN as a preparation for the climate change conference. And you fasted one day for the climate. The Archbishop is chair of the Anglican Communion Environmental Network, and he's a global ambassador for the ACT, the Alliance, an international coalition for more than 140 churches and affiliated organizations to create a positive and sustainable change in the lives of poor and those who have less. Thank you. A warm welcome for Archbishop Magoba from Cape Town. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Very much, Bridget and Volkert, for inviting me and my family here today. I indeed feel humbled, I feel honored to participate in this very important conference and to connect with some of my spiritual leaders that we connect from time to time. I just want to use these 7 minutes that have been allocated to me, firstly to greet the group from Cape Town. Molweni. Thank you, thank you. I saw quite a number of them at dinner last night. From the Christian tradition, we have, from the sacred text, lessons like the earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. We hear again from the New Testament sentence like, unless a person builds his house on a rock, that house will fall. So the metaphor of the land, the rock, and the soil is quite embedded in the Christian sacred text. But today, like the spiritual leaders that have sung and said something here, I just want to quote from 1 Habakkuk verse 1, where we say, the Lord is in his holy temple. Let the whole earth be silent. And so I call you to a period of silence, a period of reflection, a period of deep introspection as we look at ways in which we could care for the soil, for the environment, and for God's people. Some of you may wonder, why an archbishop and the soil? Because every Sunday I wear all those nice white clothes far away from the soil. But in isiZulu, the earth is called umhlaba. And umhlaba is still used for the soil. So there's no dichotomy between earth and soil. And umhlaba is also referred to as life. And so the English dichotomy is quite false from the world view where I come from. And as an archbishop, right from my training as a priest, soil has been part and parcel of my life and my ministry. When on Ash Wednesday we remind people of their vows, we take palm branches, we bend them, sign them with the sign of the cross. We say, turn away from sin and believe the good news. So already we touch the ashes. But all of us know that we live on borrowed time. We need to define what our purpose is on life. So in my previous incarnation as a priest, I used to bury quite a number of people from the scourge of AIDS and HIV. And each time the coffin goes down, before we cover it with soil, we take a little soil, we say dust to dust, ashes to ashes, soil to soil. So soil is part and parcel of our symbolic gesture of saying we are all part and parcel of this created earth. And so if we deface and don't care for the soil, we are really turning away from God. We are losing that connection with which we were created for. We are losing that rhythm that is supposed to be part and parcel of our journey here on earth. We are losing that harmony for which we were created for. For as an archbishop, spirituality is nothing else but it is about where we live and move and have our being. And soil is the best place where we move, live, and have our being. And so my call to you is to encourage you to respect the soil, because if you respect the soil, you respect yourself. But to move from that and call the policymakers also to create policies that can enable us to respect the soil. You know, I come from a beautiful part called Makhoba Kloof, the most fertile part of South Africa. And your ancestors also saw it as beautiful. And like Aga said, when I did a DNA test, I discovered that there's some East European genes in me. So you have ancestors also in Makhoba Kloof. So we are one. We have done good things with each other, we've done bad things with each other. So my message is, have the courage to challenge those that fund African countries in order to push pesticides. Have the courage to provide food for the millions that are hungry, even in the fertile Makhoba Kloof. Have the courage here in Netherlands to say, what is your goal for reducing emission? So in my Christian faith, we say, don't just talk, but walk the talk. May you go into your heart and walk the talk. Thank you.
Thank you, dear Tabo, and thank you, dear Lungi, wife, who's also here, and the kids, Abalo and Niokalo, who will play a role later on the stage here in the late afternoon. We breathe the same air, share the same soil. As Vandana said, we are the soil. This is what I like about this word Ubuntu so much. We are the other. If you want to know yourself better, get to know the other, because you are the people you live with. And that principle is in no word better reflected in this word Ubuntu, I would say. All the other words that we use for it have been so abused. So thank you for your speech. And thank you for sharing this peace message, because that's what it is. And if there is something at stake, if there is something like a clash of civilizations, which may be the most of the reason why we are having this environmental crisis, because we look into a mirror of ourselves if we are confronted with this environmental crisis. This clash of civilization, is that not another footprint of a moral challenge that we are faced? And if there is one clash, it is between Christianity and Islam, or Judaism, or other religions. So it is so wonderful to have a Quran expert amongst us, a true Muslim, who has demonstrated over the past 3 decades to be able to convert desert soils into fertile, organic soil, which is an image for what he has done on a cultural level as well. Turn cultural, social deserts into fertile places for self-development. I'm talking about my friend, long friend, old friend, Ibrahim Obulaj, founder and president of SECA. Please.
Thank you, dear Volkert, my Dutch son. Thank you also for inviting me to a very important meeting here. And thank you also for calling me as a Muslim, while you know that I am Muslim, I am Christian, and I am Jewish, but I am also Buddhist and Hindu. I'm a human being. What I have heard today reminds me exactly for 40 years when I visited my home country, Egypt. I was living here for more than 20 years in Europe. And then I saw degraded, destructed country. This beautiful Egypt was destructed. Many wars were carried out. No investment in education, in building. So I saw the stupidity of the politician, of the many people whom I met in the economy. And when I coming back to Europe, I studied how can I defeat stupidity? While we were talking today about the Commission, the European Commission, how can we defeat such misunderstanding people or stupidity? I'm even asking myself, why did Allah created human being on the earth? See, there is a reason for our being here on the earth. He created all the cosmos and this wonderful planet, but that planet is very connected to the whole cosmos. And within the planet, he created the minerals, the microorganisms, the water, the plants, even animals, and the human beings. What? Why we are here? There must be a reason why we are here. So, just to understand it, it took time, and I want to share it with you. We are here for development. For developing our consciousness, for helping develop all the living beings. Where he said in the Quran, all those are communities like yours. They have their languages. And you have to learn, because they are not talking to you, you have to listen and to learn the wisdom in all the creature he created. And while we learn it, we grow. We grow consciously. And when we are in the level of higher consciousness, we understood the reason, we understood the wisdom of all his creation. Then we have duty. Then we have fear We have to care for the environment like he cares for us by building environment that we can grow. We have to care also for environment that minerals, soil, plants, animals can develop. He said, everything in a development, it is not a stood phase, it is a continuously developed state where we are. Allah said in the Holy Quran, he himself is in a continuously, every day, in a continuous shape of development. How we can develop a human being, there is no other solution than Bildung, this wonderful German word, what means we have to deliver, we have to put the environment that people can, also the individuals can grow through learning. How we can develop societies? Only through economic, ethical, ecological economy. And how to develop the politician by remind them of the human rights that is the most value we have to care for social justice. Not as we heard today about how the organic farmers are very poor built and paid, but how to give them their rights to care for the development of our soil. So that everything, as you see, is interconnected and interdependent, and you can't see one problem as isolated. You can't see only the soil as our problem. Every single problem is in our life is interconnected and interrelated. And only the awakened person can see it. Only this awakened self can take action. Because the awakened human cannot only think. This thinking wants to be put in action. There is no thoughts. There is only action after people have developed themselves. So that is what I want to, that is what my message today for you, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim, for your words, and also from your background. I think it's so wonderful to have you all here from different traditions as one panel, so as one unity. I think it's important also to feel that. And now I have the honor to introduce Rabbi Sutendorf, very good friend and Commissioner of the Earth Charter, a spokesman, and your representative of the progressive Jewish community, spreading the world of hope and peace. If I hear your words, it's always about hope and peace, combined with sustainability. So we are very honored that you are here, and I give the word to you. Thank you.
My dearest global partners who have chosen to care for the earth and one another. Only 15 years ago, thousands of people and organizations together formulated the Earth Charter. And it starts with, we stand at a critical moment in Earth history when humanity must choose its future. As the world becomes more interdependent and fragile, the future holds great peril and great hope. Shalom, salam, peace, shanti. I choose to speak with you from the message of hope. We say also in the Earth Charter to move forward. We must recognize that in the midst of the beautiful, magnificent diversity of cultures and lifestyles and life forms, we are one human family, one Earth community with one common destiny. Here, this panel is a testimony. We are here together as a testimony. When I hear the prayer from the heart, I am reminded of the wisdom of the indigenous people who connected to the earth. When I hear the Native American, I am reminded of Wounded Knee and everything in the past and are moving together with you. When I listen to you, Thabo, as we stood at the banks of the Gange, forming together this global interfaith alliance for water, sanitation, and hygiene. It is so strong. And Ibrahim, I believe with you that taking care of our earth and of our deserts and planting the trees will bring Egypt, Israel, Palestinians, Jews, Arabs together, and we form together this wonderful future which our children's children so deserve. Yes, these were not 15 wasted years. Yes, we move a parable, a light parable. It's in the Jewish mystical tradition. Two men in a boat and starts to bore a hole in the boat. So the other one says, "What are you doing? This will be our end. This will be our death." And the other one said, "Don't worry. I'm only making a hole in my part of the boat." We moved away from that parable to a real association of will, because we know this is a quiet revolution of spiritual leaders and people. We finally recognize that we desperately need each other to bring peace and justice in the world. And we see it around. Yes, we move from the deception of Johannesburg to the deception of Copenhagen, but we are going to inherit the future of Paris. Because under the earth, which we do not see, the groups have grown and risen, and I'm so moved by everyone who brings his own knowledge and experience. And so 500,000 people marched through New York in September against climate change. You know, I call climate change a blessing in disguise. When it moves humanity, finally, to get together to a cooperation and to make this world fertile for our children's children. We are seeing the fruits of our hands as we move on in this journey. Amongst us are young people. I want to call upon a school in Ede. It is Pallas Athene. You are here, and I want to speak to you about my life's lesson. When my wife and I were born, maybe 100 meters away from here. In 1943, the chances of us ever becoming parents and grandparents was zero. But we are the parents and the grandparents of wonderful people who inherit future because of non-Jews who risked their lives, because of the power of compassion. So I say to you, do not despair. Yes, we have not given you the world that we wish to give you, but together with your enthusiasm and your vision and our lessons of the past, we will forge this future. You know, the Pope, Pope Francis, who is also my Pope, he said in his encyclic that when we care for the earth, we will learn to care for each other. And there is this amazing ability when we come together. So let me just give you 2 points. It seems Don Quixote. We can sit at the table of the negotiations on soils when we amass 200 million signatures. We can do it. We can sit at the table when every individual learns from our tradition and gives 1 millennium share, 0.1% extra of our income for this majestic path towards the sustainable goal and eradication and a world that is fertile. So let me end with a prayer. A rabbi, just before Shabbat, when there is peace also for the land and for everyone, I read words from the Pope. I take his words. All-powerful God, you are present in the whole universe and in the smallest of your creatures. You embrace with your tenderness all that exists. Pour out upon us the power of your love, that we may protect life and beauty. Oh God, give us the strength and the wisdom to continue draw strength from each other and inherit fertile ground and a blessed future.
Thank you, dear Abraham. I knew it. I had hoped so much that this would happen. Because if we want change, then we won't solve the problems with the thinking that created them. So we, as Einstein said, we need a mind shift, which ultimately is about self-leadership. A spiritual challenge, a spiritual journey. Thank you, all of you, for sharing this. And now we need to get to work, because it's about agriculture, it's about business, it's about money. How do we incarnate this spirit that is around us now into the DNA of a new agriculture? If there's one authority that I know of who knows how to articulate this, it's Nikolai Fuchs, who headed the biodynamic section of the Goethe for many years, before he became the president of the Nexus Foundation in Geneva, where he successfully interfered in WTO negotiations and in interfering and influencing important United Nations decision-making processes. A unique friend who I have known for a long time, my study time, who is anchored in these both worlds, the spiritual and the reality. And the question is, how do we merge the two? and create a new spirituality that is read from agriculture in this case. Nikolai, please.
Good day, everybody. Thank you, Volkert, for the invitation. But at the same time, how could you? I don't at all deserve to speak with this distinguished panel. But as I'm friend to Volkert, I didn't say no. And I take it as a chance to share with you some thoughts which we shared together in a formation which we call Desert Group, which was founded in Seekem. And some of the members of the Desert Club are here today, like Götz Rehn, Tobias Mandl from Germany, Sanjay Bansal from India is unfortunately not with us. There's Markus Abens from Switzerland. And Helmi Abalesh, the son of Ibrahim, is part of the group as well, to name a few. Thomas Hato, Patrick Owen, others. We shared some thoughts and would like to share these thoughts with you. Not that they are ready at all, but that they might be the beginning of what is so often called a paradigm shift or whatsoever. I appreciate very much, thank you very much, what has been said already. Because in it, the sound of millenniums of experience sounded in this room. This event we call Celebrating Soil and Celebrating Life. And from our observance, we sort of found out, together with the Arab Spring, with overcoming slavery, apartheid, etc., that there is a move in life, a development in life to ever more freedom. And underneath this development, there's another development on this planet, and that is to ever more complexity. The preliminary climax of this development might be, if we connect it to our hearts, in our brains, very complex systems. And these complex systems are the foundation for freedom, for self-consciousness and self-determination. And where do we find this most prominently in nature, on this planet? It's in the soils. I want to take in our room one special creature, which is, so to say, standing for this high complexity or complexity creation. And that is the earthworm. The earthworm is somehow able to marry, to organize the marriage between the mineral realm and the organic realm. In humus, we have this miraculous, as Patrick called it, this miraculous sort of combination, or it's even more than a combination of the mineral and the organic. And with this decomposing organic matter, that together gives birth to ever new life. All plant growth is rooting in this miracle, so to say, this miracle from this special planet. How do we come to ever more complexity? We've heard today of the destruction of our soils, of the desertification of our soils. That is exactly the opposite of making complexity. Specialization of agriculture, industrialization of agriculture, leads to something else than to complexity. And we have discussed the last 10, 20, 30 years the importance of diversity, of biodiversity. But complexity is one step further. Complexity is the combination, the through living of diversity. And only that gives the ground for new complexity, for consciousness development, as Ibrahim pointed out, and in the end, what we say or call freedom. In the former session, already the question of in which economy do we live? Does it our aims or not? I wouldn't want to point that out now, but we have to rethink specific forms, at least, of how we deal in society with our inheritance. And that mainly belongs to soil and land. We have heard, very well formulated, I think, from the lady from the Brussels Commission, that today, yes, land is in private ownership. But in this form, it caused fierce opposition to the renewal of the regulation for soils and land. And I think I may say, I hope so, or otherwise we have to discuss it, that we are in consensus that soils and land are actually not private property. There are historical reasons, yes, and I'm glad for this, because farmers freed themselves from exploitation. But now we have perhaps to take a step further. And I'm very grateful to Elinor Ostrom that she brought about the commons theory, made it anew accessible to us, when she came to identify what management skills do we need to manage commons. And if we look on land as a common, then new possibilities arise. And I will underlay that with one experience coming from biodynamic agriculture, which is nice. But it needed a specific key notion to sort of fulfill its potential. And that was developed with farmers in the Bochum Bank 40, 50 years ago. And that is putting land in the ownership of associations or cooperatives. And interesting, the farms, and there's quite few in number, which came out of that, are the only farm model I know from all my worldwide travels, which become ever more biodiverse year by year. All other forms of agriculture are on the opposite. So interestingly, this might be key to give the land back to the people who work with it, the stakeholders, and that's the difference to the communist model, and give them the possibility to join, to share, to get engaged. And that is, I think, the key for farms to get ever more diverse and ever more complex, to give the ground for what we call the development to freedom. This development then is a co-evolutionary principle between the development, the evolution of the earth and of humanity. So, let's look at soil as a common that gives ground for cultivation, which is needed at the time of the Anthropocene, where our impact is so strong that Earth by itself can't cope it. We have to help it, and we have no other choice, I think, than to cultivate. Make agriculture come true in its best sense. And on this ground, we may have ever more freedom to take responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Nikolai, for your words. It's very important to make also the connection. Agriculture, the heart of agriculture, and that you pointed it out. The earth warm, I think that's one thing that is a very important insight. Small animal with a huge impact. Now, there's a possibility of asking questions through this wonderful forum. So please feel free, and the microphone will be brought to you. So who has a question to this panel, or one of the panelists? Yes? There in the middle, there's someone. Say your name and your question.
My name is Vincent Bogart. I want a question about food in your communities, your religions.
To which person?
I think all of them can answer.
Okay.
There's a problem, of course, of eating meat, for instance, and other things. So what is your idea how we can feed the world in a healthy way?
Yeah.
Yes?
Healthy food is, of course, coming out of healthy soil. And everyone can say that is healthy food. But there is another attribute for this healthy food. If the healthy food is growing organically, also in a sustainable way, it's different than the healthy food which is growing in a conventional way. That support human development, support human development of consciousness. So we are taking food not to be only healthy, but to develop ourselves, to help us develop. So the food is not only what we take, but the blessing in the food is the content of the life power in this that help us develop consciousness.
I would like, if that's so, oh, sorry. Please, Aram.
Again, it's interesting that the Pope spoke about blessings, importance of that we all say blessings, and realize the food that we are eating and what it means. As far as meat is difficult, but I point to Maimonides in the 12th century, Jewish wisdom keeper, who said, in the messianic time of peace and justice will come, we will all be vegetarians. Now, we are struggling about it. That also, when we break, we share bread together, and it's much more. It's about unity, and suddenly it comes to me that I once had the great privilege to break bread on a Friday night with Ahmed Guftaro. He was the head imam of Syria. And he so much wished the Jews, Christians, and Muslims would be in peace. And I speak his name in great reverence and love. When we broke bread together with Hindus, with people from the Buddhist tradition, with Christians, when we break bread together, we also are aware of our responsibility to have this healthy food and share it with everyone.
Thank you, Abraham, for your answer. Uncle?
I have traveled to 67 countries to talk about the melting of the big ice. Nobody listened. And now that we're talking about food and how we can feed the world, I realize that we cannot do it the way we do it. Did you know that in Holland, we waste more food than we produce? And the world is starving. I met people who had nothing to eat for a week. But we have plenty in Holland. So much plenty that we waste almost half of what we produce. So it's the matter of learning to relate differently. The very mindset which needs to be shifted is not to produce food for money, it's to produce food to feed the people. That's the mindset. If we don't do it, many will die, many will barely survive, few will have life. And that's the statement of the old people from the very top of the world, where nothing grows. The only food I have is what I can hunt. But because of the way we are in Europe, I am not allowed to hunt seals, which is my main food. But European Union want me to eat pig, which is not a food for the human. And so we had to change our mindset. We had to learn to feed the world, not to make the money. If we keep making the money, as you probably have noticed, we will make some people extremely wealthy and others extremely poor. I learned that through traveling the world.
I would like to say that Mother Earth is a provider, and we say that Mother Earth is a source of life and a resource. That in our tradition, all nations must go back to their own diet. Ours is buffalo, to be healthy.
Okay, thank you. I think that's important. So there's not one recipe for healthy food. Archbishop.
Yeah, I was going to add that when we look at food, we shouldn't necessarily look at diet. We're looking at spiritual food, physical food, emotional food, looking at psychological food, and of course physical food. We need to look at how food is created and who needs food and how do we feed people. So I won't go at this stage into depth, but I wanted to broaden the conception of food beyond diet.
Thank you so much. Thank you. There's one question, there are two questions actually. One here on the front, fourth row.
Thank you. This is less a question, just a very short statement that as I know we're talking about the health of soils and really focused on healthy food on the human table, I miss, and I think what it may be lacking is the concept of the millions of species who have intrinsic value all their own, who are just as important in the dialogue and conversation about healthy soils. And I hope that as the argument grows and the understanding for healthy soils enters the mainstream, that the reminder of all species that depend on it. Thank you.
Thank you. There was another question? Yes, there. Oh, sorry.
Can I say something?
Yes, your name?
My name is Sharona. I'm from Canada, but I live here in Amsterdam. And what really came to me by this session is the connection between cultures, people who live in those countries and those cultures, religions, and food. And that we need to eat, to live, to be people who live in countries and cultures. So the whole kind of sequence of the connections between those, which hasn't earlier come so clear to me. So my question to all of you, coming from all different parts of the world, all humans, what is your advice to me and to all these people here, what we can do tomorrow to get all of us to have that all people have food and feel this connection of being humans.
Yes, one moment. To whom are you saying this?
I'm
Because
asking
we have
actually to all of them because they're all.
There's no time, so
Okay.
pick one of them.
The Inuit, the person who
Inuit.
started first.
Okay, Uncle. You didn't pay attention? Oh.
I'm so glad you mentioned culture. Culture is so different from each other. My culture, I eat my food from the animals. Yes, some people eat their food from the plants. So they're all the same. One day, we have to change. Because we, after all, this is one people on earth. There's only one earth, and her people are citizens of that earth. We are one. We had to change, and we cannot do it the way we have been doing it. Because if we keep doing it, many will die. Many will barely survive. Few will have a life. We have to change that mind of ours. This obstacle that all people of my world say that is your mind. That's the greatest obstacle you have. The most important thing you have is your spirit. If you can move that mind, then we have the solution to feed the world. But the way we do it now, we can't. We have not succeeded. We have not succeeded.
Thank you. Thank you. Before I give you the word, Abraham, there was the host, Volkert, who had a question for Nikolai. So, please.
I would like to make room for Abraham, but just leave you with a question before passing on the floor to Abraham. Question I want to ask Nikolai, because you made the connection between complexity and monoculture. And even in organic farming, we have a lot of monoculture because of price. Yet, we all know that resilience, vitality in our health, in our food, as Abraham explained, originates in biodiversity, variety, in complexity. So we are bombarded with short triggers through our cell phones and triggers to buy things, impulses, etc. And if we then do not support our health system with food that comes from a diversity of organisms rather than from monoculture, I was wondering if there is a connection between the way we think and the diversity of the farms that feed us. For me, that's the most important question right now, but since we have no time, I think, Abraham, unless you would like Nikolai to address this, I leave that to you.
Well, maybe, please, very brief.
No, please.
Very brief, then.
Well,
and then Nikolai.
I wanted to say to you who spoke about the whole universe, yes, we are aware we are part of the community of life. Humans are part of an evolving, fast evolving nature. We see the protection of the beauty and the diversity of the earth and all its living as a sacred trust to us. So I'm glad that you raised it. And because there was something about hope, let's not forget that in the last 15 years, the Millennium Development Goals has shown that we can move forward. And there has been an increase in the number of people who are not anymore hungry. There is pollution in the water, but there is more access to water. And the great hope is that with the sustainable goals, the allies are much greater around. And from my experience, economics start to study what is compassionate economics. What is compassion on the marketplace? So we eventually, the key word that we have to really make the transformation in ourselves is cooperation. And I believe it will lead us to, I wanted to say to perfection.
The imperfection. The perfection is in the imperfection. That's the one thing. And I thank you so much, Abraham. And I think that, you know, we cannot solve the problems, but we can digest them. And as we learned from Patrick, the heart is also in our intestines. So maybe we can digest on this question. And what you've shown, I want to thank all of you for sharing not only what you said in words, but what you gave beyond the words. Because we are spirit, we are energy. And this energy flows, so maybe it's wonderful to get conscious of that we are one breathing field. I cannot say, you know, I don't want your breath, because we are one breathing field, and the longer we are in this room, the more we get one unity. So this energy from this breathing field merge with you, and let's digest that with the music of Miha, who will bring us to a next stage of the heart. Thank you.
Now,
thank you all. Oh.
Thank you. Just stay there. Before Miha plays music, I would like to say afterwards we'll listen to Sarah, who has something to announce about our meal in a few minutes. And for those who would be interested to ask more questions and go into dialogue, for instance about food, there's plenty of opportunity tomorrow morning in the masterclasses where all of these leaders will be available, not just for 7 minutes, but for 2.5 hours. A tremendous opportunity to go deeper. And Nikolai won't be able to speak now, right now. We will ask Miha to speak, but Indian Chief Orville has insisted on saying a few words, and I would very be happy to give you the floor.
Yes, I'd like to say that we believe in childbirth, and we nourish our babies. The mother has to nurse the baby with love and compassion. That's the way we show it. And we know that people in this world today are bottle feeding their baby, and that loss of spirituality and culture, and becomes a very violent, angry person. So natural foods is a health, and when you pray with that medicine, natural medicine will be health to your body.
Thank you. Maybe we should, do you want us to stay here?
Yeah. As I'm in a role to reinforce the sacred that has entered this afternoon here on the stage, I cannot but hear again and again that economics comes up in relation to food, to soil, and so on. And even I'm a violinist, I have to take this role and say this sentence that when we talk about economics, we do not talk about oppressive monoculture or financial global system in which we have to live. And sometimes it feels like we are pushing on the wall of the wagon of the train, but the train is going that direction. And that is called the financial global system. We are changing it at autumn equinox at a place where it became global, in Bretton Woods. So we need to evolve global monoculture financial system into ecosystem, into like music does. Music is in one voice is no music. You need polyphonic system. And that is what we are doing. In other words, there are many efforts on many systems that have to go hand in hand. And one of them is finances itself, because now they are pulling us in a short-term profitability and doesn't work for the earth. So just so you know, this is happening. Maybe somebody is interested to look out of the box. So, and now how to call on this remarkable quality that each of you have brought in. I mean, what you have done with your powerful voice. Thank you very much, everybody, each of you, but thank you very much. So what can one do after this? I would say if we try to learn very intently to a phrase in a music that actually expresses a question. Listen to this question. Who is asking this question? And what is the question about? It's F major. You see, F major is the streaming love, has to do with Venus. So, F major. But after question, there is a pause. I would leave you with one thought to this piece and then invite you just to listen to the processes like we learned this morning. Not just enjoy it. Be conscious of evolution of this piece, of the transitions, crisis, reappearance. But I would call it, it is the time to learn to reformulate questions out of the answers that are everywhere around us. To learn to reformulate questions about the answers that are everywhere. So, Bach, F major.
may I invite you to join the auditorium and ask Sarah on stage. And we have to reshuffle a little bit here, I think. I see something happening over there. So it's all set and ready. This is before we have lunch. Just a little introduction and cooking demonstration by Sarah Wiener, the most famous TV chef in Germany, on TV, on air, every night. There's no German that doesn't know her. And she hates to be called like that. She wants to be called an activist. And recently, since she bought a huge estate with a castle on it, and cattle and everything, new hobby, she has decided she wants to be called a farmer now. So I'm lost as what to call her, but what I do know is that she is our patron, a very powerful patron of the Save Our Soils campaign.
Hello. So, thank you, Volker. My name is Sarah. The nice thing is now we were in the sky and by soul and by heart, and now we're going down to earth. Because there are so many questions and you ask maybe yourself, okay, I hear these things, I hear these speeches, I hear these questions, but what can I do practically tomorrow, today? And you won't believe it, I have a solution. Yes, you know what. You can, of course, cook every day with fresh, organic ingredients, seasonal and regional. I think this is the solution. And this is very revolution, because I come from a time that cooking, 1 year before, when I was very young, this was not really a game, a goal I wanted to become. But everything what we have to do in our life is eating. And every culture based on the cooking skills. So I want to show you something, because I know you are traveling a lot around and a lot of men cannot really cook and have no time because we are always busy. Are you laughing? Okay, which man can cook here? Ooh, wow. Okay. Okay, times are changing. It's the women who goes to work. And will take the leadership, hopefully. Okay, so you know that women love cooking men, I can tell you. But I'm a little bit jealous. I never want that my friend can cook, because when he don't know that it's not really a miracle, magical thing, then he said, oh my God, your godness, what have you done? And I said, oh yes, it was very complicated. So I show you something now. You can a little bit tomorrow show off. And it's very easy and it's very quick. And it has another impact, because I do two things today with leftovers. Because we don't have to forget that in our countries, we have too much to eat. We don't want to eat because we are hungry and we have to feed our body. We want to feed our soul, and we want to become very thin. So, in this part of the world, it's a problem that we throw a lot away in the bin, because it doesn't cost anything. And we're not connected with the roots to our feeds. So, I start now. My leftover today, I start with the dessert, because you know, I'm from the Sternzeichen. Yes, I'm Jungfrau, virgin. And they are very picky. So I start always with the dessert, because afterwards I go to garlic and onion, and they don't like the taste on my fingers. So first tip, you also start with the dessert, yes? And now I have brown bananas, because I was on the journey, or I forget it, or it was cheap in the supermarket, so don't throw it away. You take it like this and you say, yummy, I will do something very nice. Summer is coming. You take this banana, cut it into the pieces. I will do it very quick. And now I need my assistant help for the fridge. The bananas good. Okay, I cut it into the piece, give it in the very cold fridge like this, and this is TV show. Ta-ta! So, it takes just maybe 15 or 20 minutes. It's really very easy. And then I take this frozen, old, very sweet, delicious bananas into my, my English is very bad. How do you blender? The funny thing is, and the good thing is, if you're a cook, you don't need any language. You just do it. And this is really, for me, it's the global language of love, to cook for somebody. So you just look somebody when he eats your meal and it's love on the first sight. Okay. Okay, sorry for that. You know, there are two kinds of cooks. One, they come from the, Apotheke. They are really picky and they read, they just have a balance and do everything what is written complete on the books. So 1 gram banana. Oh, how much banana, Sarah? What are you doing? I say, I'm the other way cooking. I do what I have and it's only on my tongue that I choose what I will do. So I do a little bit. So when you are nice to me, maybe I make more a little bit later. So then I do, and this is very good. Now you have the brown bananas and you can say, you open your fridge, what have you in? What is left? Maybe a little bit yogurt or Topfen, Quark, so yes, thank you. Cream cheese or something. Or when you are in Asia, coconut, fresh coconut or coconut, yes, everything you want, you like. Then you put a little bit into it, and then you look what you have also. I have a little bit, I love this, cardamom. Do you know cardamom? I know it from India. I love it. I was at of an Indian woman with an Indian woman, and she had cardamom in her home garden. And because, please don't make a fault and buy cardamom or cinnamon when it's grained. You buy it like this, because otherwise it will lose all the aroma in the air, and you don't want to have it in the air, you want to have it in your food. So, then I give a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, also this is, show me how you cook and then tell you where you are, who you are. I take it like this. Maybe a little bit cinnamon. I love cinnamon. So healthy also. But I don't have something ripe. There's no ripe, huh? No ripe. Ta-ta. Okay. Just a little bit. And now, okay, it's not mine. Okay, this is a job for your husband. Say, come on, it's not so complicated, huh? You can just do this. Okay. Yes, for always it's a help and a trick. More cream. Yes, it works. Yes. Good. So. Another one. So, second lesson. Not just leftovers, also the machines has to be in a good state. It's not just about quality for food, it's also quality what you buy, what you wear, with which, what do you cook. Good. And now, you do a little bit because it's summer. There's very good strawberries, I love strawberries. You cut it into slices. And then I want to do a vinaigrette for these strawberries. Always smell, because you don't know what your wife has cooking before with this. Little bit. Orange, lemon, just a little bit. And, it's so simple and it's so good, I tell you. Grapefruit. So, and for the vitamin, I give a little bit, a zip of oil, so just few drops. And because I love the color red and green, little bit peppermint. Okay, and now I take my ice. Oh, so I'm so sorry that you're not hungry. I have to leave it alone, maybe. But you can win this if you tell me. What do you think? How many tomato breeds are in the world? Varieties. Sorry, yes, thank you. How many varieties, different varieties of tomatoes? Sorry? 9,000. Oh la la. 100?
Hello?
50? Okay. I know the Pope of tomato in Burgenland in Austria, next to Vienna. He alone has 7,000 varieties, and he says there exist 200,000 all over the world. 200,000 different tomatoes. Yellow, brown, violet, big, small like this, like sausages, like the Russian train tomato. You can peel it like this and eat it. So tomatoes who have the taste from roses, tomatoes that have the taste from mushrooms. Very, very different tomato. Tell me, you can have this very lovely dessert who is the person here in this room who know the varieties for names, the names from varieties the most?
That would be me.
200,000, I mean, you will at least 5, 10, 15? So, what is the name for the names for the varieties of tomatoes?
Hello.
Yes, please?
I was in tomatoes a long time. So what was the question?
How many names from different varieties of tomatoes do you know?
How many do I know?
Yeah.
Whew. I know at least thousands.
With the name.
Shall I give you the name?
Yes, of course.
Well, Gardener's Delight, Elegance, Cadence, Comet, Piccolo. Well, maybe.
Also, maybe old varieties.
Old varieties, heirloom varieties.
Okay, I see. You win the dessert, but you have to come to
Thank you.
You have to come into because it's will melting. It's ice. And but what I wanted to show you is if you don't have a name for quality, you can't ask for quality. That's very important. You have to ask and know and label quality. Then you can say, okay, I want to have this and that quality. This is the first lesson. Okay, have a good one. the second thing we do is, you know, everything I know, also you in your home, in Europe, in India not so much, but in Europe, you have a lot of old bread at home. Isn't it like this? So, first thing, because you eat normally industrial bread, I can tell you 1 hour about industrial bread because I have a wooden open bakery. You are not my friend if you buy this crap. But okay, this will be another story on the lunch. When you have old bread, please don't throw it away. You can do delicious things from old bread. Amazing a lot with old bread. I do use something with old bread that's very quick and I think it's very good. It comes from Tuscany, of course the Italian can cook. Nearly so good than Austrian. And you cut this old bread into slices, into pieces, not too big. You give it there into it. A little bit. So. Okay. Then garlic. I love garlic, I can tell you. I mean, okay, if you have a rendezvous this night, maybe you mix garlic with ginger. Then the taste will be not so strong. And if you use young garlic, so old garlic, you cut the, oops, okay, doesn't go, it's salad. You cut the thing out, because this is the green one, the seed from the life. This is the strong one. You cut it out, then it's not so really tasty. Okay, and then you have ripe tomato. Ah, I know this variety. Has to be from a good farm, huh? You cut the green one out. And then you cut it like you want, maybe in pieces, maybe in slices, maybe in cubes. I like when it's not so, I like when it's a little bit wide, you know. I like it when you think, it's done from Sarah. So, you mean this was no magical thing for this moment. Then basil, a lot of basil. I love basil. Oh, I can't have enough. You don't cut it. You make it like this. Then you have the whole aroma. And I like it when it's not so small, you know, Cooking is not going into the bank for 10 hours. Cooking has something to do with senses, with feelings, with smelling, touching, with greedy things also. Like this. And then I do just a little bit olive oil. So don't think that if you eat very good olive oil, you get fat. This is a lie. It's not true. I tell you something. And then also something you have to think about, because nobody is thinking about. The salt you use that never have something like this, you know, hard thing or something, because there are chemical stuff into it, you throw it in the winter on the road and you buy really one good for your stomach, for yourself. You don't make your body like an Endlager, you know, for chemical stuff. The other will translate you what it means. This is natural salt from the mountain, into the mountain, or from the seaside. This is the best. Everything is into it. Why to do chemical stuff just because it's complete white, or you are too lazy to do it a little bit smaller, in smaller pieces? Buy it like this and use it like this. It's salt. So it's because it's from the Tuscany. Tuscany's have no salt in the bread, so I hope it's also like this. Then you have a fresh peppermill. I told you before, not just all is the whole grain. The whole grain is the life and is the powerness, and not this dead dust Yes, it's like in the desert. Oh, okay. I don't want to ask for a man who helps me to do the meal. This was too much humiliation for me, but I think there's nothing into it. Okay, you will not test it. This is the good on the TV show. I can tell you everything you want. You won't believe what I tell you because you never will cost it. This is the good thing in the TV shows. And then I do a little bit, but now it's not there. Ah, yes, it's vegetable soup, or if you say, okay, honey, where can I have vegetable soup? In the fridge. You do 5 or 10 liters and then you pack it in half liter and you have every time that vegetable soup. It's space for everything. So if you don't have it, use little bit hot water. Finish. Maybe when you like vinegar, but I prefer lemon. Like that lemon. So, okay. I mean, hello. I'm sure you are able to do this. And it's so nice and delicious, and you help the soil because it's done from leftover. Because we have to realize everything what is good for the soil, for the earth, for the climate, is in the end good for ourselves. Because we are part of the nature and we have to eat natural. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I think we need instruction and your female power. I think it's very important. Thank you. Thank you. And we will have lunch now. Yes. I don't know what. Yes. Huh?
Okay, I go.
Yes, we will have lunch now. So take your time. The speakers can be addressed in the speakers' corner. There's a wonderful film from Vadana Shiva will be shown in one of the rooms. Please, I would recommend you to see this film about living soil. And we will start again at 3 o'clock. Thank you very much, and we will see you at the next session. The hands on. Thank you.
Komt wel weer. Ja, we zitten natuurlijk in de kringen. Thank you. Deze hier. Ja, die hebben we. Maar ik ben wel met oh, daar kennen we elkaar. Ja. Daar kunnen we elkaar. Ja. Ja, ik ben de laatste keer geweest bij de Pepsi. Ja, daar misschien. Dat is oh, daar hebben we elkaar gezien. Ja. Ja, ja. En dat is een goede vriend van me. Ja. 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 Hij was uitgenodigd. Ja. Week heb ik gewoon. Oh, ja, ja, was hartstikke leuk. Ja, zo mooi, ja, bijzonder. Ja. Ja. Nou, zo doe je dat. Ja, ben ik ook. Ja. Maar ik heb nog helemaal niks. Wat heb je nog? Gaat je? Ja. Ja. Oh, dan kom ik weer. Ja. 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 Mooi. En dat is Leo. Hallo. Hey, het is Nederlands. Zie. Kijk, dat bedoel ik. Ja, wat fijn. Ja, het leukste allemaal te ontmoeten, hè? Ja. Zo. Ja. Je bent hier met Ik ben met Nangak. Ik ben de wisselkeeper van de Nangak. Van Nederland. Ik moet even mijn kop stoppen.
You remember me? I was in the meeting in 2006 in Lille. The Circle of Elders. Here we are.
I lost my suitcase, so I haven't changed clothes for more than 2 years.
Oh, don't tell anybody. It's a good. Yeah. It's okay. Body smell. There's too many.
Was it only Kurdish in there?
Turkish
we're also supposed to do during native dancing in the practice of
Ik zou het zo mooi vinden als we naar huis gaan. Dus iets heel... Ja? Echt?
Most important thing is Hillary's campaign, the lobbyist for Monsanto that got so he's out. Yeah. So I guess it takes like 10 hours to get out.
No, but that's anyway, I'm fine.
Please, I was just looking at the situation here. I think I'm going to put Monique and the children in the second row. Here, I'll check.
Zou ook misschien meer dan... Maar heel klein, ik wil ja. Ja. Het is gewoon toch aardig. Ik ben ook gehouden ja. Programma's. Ja. Ik heb zelf nog helemaal geen kaart. Ik ben net afgelopen week heb ik een coöperatie, ben ik lid geworden van een coöperatie die net opgelicht hebben samen met twee jonge meiden in Amsterdam, Urban Tribe. En we hebben onze basis bij de keuken. Het is allemaal bij Noord en DSM. Huis en energie. Nu ook een hele gave plek gevonden in oh, ik wil ook. Ja. En het Mandela-huis gaat nu open in de haven van Amsterdam. En dat wordt een soort verzoenplek. Het is een oud huisje wat nu omgebouwd wordt tot een herberg. En daar maakt ze een hele mooie kamer met een verzoenkamer. En dat kan dan 's avonds weer verhuurd worden als overnachtingskamer. Dan kan de tafel gaat open en wordt een bed. En het is allemaal gericht op een boek. Goed, daar ben ik ook mee.
Reisjes veel heen en weer tussen de
ja, eigenlijk wel nu, ja.
Ja. Big Earth.
Ja. Ik heb het schrijven afgelopen week wel een hele corporatie. Coöperatieve ook samenleving.
Oh ja.
Er zijn gewoon heel veel, ja, het is weer van iemand die precies wat eigenlijk ook vandaag gesproken werd. Wat is nou de manier om weer te verbinden met de stem? Alle mooie initiatieven die niet struggelen ook allemaal om te overleven. Als je met elkaar verbindt, kun je ook weer verder. En dat is in de coöperatievorm, daarom vond ik het zo mooi. Wie zei dat nou? The word is cooperation. Cooperation, ja, dat zei je. Ja. Nou ja, dus met coöperatie. Ja.
Hi, Karen. Nice to meet you.
You were Sunday at the Magister? Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I was there for a few hours when you were in procession. I was
holding the drum?
Holding the drum.
Well, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm getting like that.
So how
Nice.
did you go into the peace palace?
Yeah.
Was a nice ceremony?
Yeah.
Powerful. Yeah, I live in
Yeah.
The Hague,
Oh, do you?
and I work a lot with Phil Jr.
Okay.
Jr.
Yeah.
But every time the energy moves to Amsterdam, and so everything we organize is always in Amsterdam or in the. And I want to get all the energy to The Hague, to the city of peace and justice, but it's also.
Yeah.
But well.
Yeah, there is.
So you live in Holland? Or you were
In America.
invited over?
Invited over, yeah.
Where do you live? In?
Upper Michigan, on the Great Lakes. Dan is just a couple hours, but he lives on Lake Michigan as well. Green Bay.
Did you meet Chief Oscar Looking Horse already?
Not today. We met him at Bessie's place in '99.
Okay.
Did a pipe ceremony and drum. Yeah. I think they had that
So it's good
at
to
The Hague.
Okay. Yeah.
That's when they had the World Peace Conference.
Okay, yeah.
We were here
99?
then. Yeah.
So it's a good day to.
Yeah, we had, I think we did a couple of fires. Then we had lit them at The Hague. We lit them. We kept the fire going for 4 days.
Oh, really?
Because I had to sleep out there. And then Minnow, Frank's friends, we alternate nights. And we just held the fire. We just grounded it.
And where was this?
It was at like a monastery by The Hague, somewhere in The Hague.
Yeah, it's at the border with Wassenaar.
Yeah.
Place,
And we got permission to put the fire outside, but we had to sleep with it. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
And then people just came in and out throughout the day. They had a conference inside.
Oh, was it also with Brigitte van Baren?
I don't know, I don't think so.
Because the big conference was Nelson Mandela was there, Prince Noor, Overlooking Horse, and we were there.
So it's good to meet him again today,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Let's
She
go and.
opened the door for that. You did.
Yeah?
You did.
Yeah?
But some women stepped before it. I thought, you see that, eh?
It was so good.
Yeah, it's cool.
Ready. He is ready now.
Yeah,
I saw that this morning.
Well, you had to open that.
Yeah.
Uncle, you did a ceremony with him in Chicago at the college where that letter came from. That's where I met him. We did a ceremony in Chicago and he was there and shared them teachings. And he did a healing on all of us in the circle. Remember?
I've been running this whole week, you know.
Oh, we're not getting home until midnight every night. Just that's good.
That's what they said. It's very good.
It is.
Had good days yesterday
Oh,
and the day
God.
before?
Yeah, a little busy, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It is.
Very much part of it.
It'll take me a couple years to figure out what happened, but that's okay. I'm slow and that's okay.
This morning as well, like what's happening, all of it, you know. It's like the man, the Muslim man.
Yep.
I had a conversation with him yesterday because the Friends of Sechem in the Netherlands, they invited me to give college at his university in Egypt. So I had a preparation, I've made all notes and stuff, and he got it last week. And I said to the persons in the Netherlands, I have to look him in the eyes, we have to look each other in the eyes, and then we know it's good or it's not good. So we had a look in each other's eyes, and he suggested, he said, so when do you come for 6 weeks? And I was like, but I've got small children. And then, like real Egyptian, he said to the wife joining him, he said, we have a problem, she can't come for 6 weeks. And off he went.
Oh, really?
So then we had a conversation during the whole evening, every time small bits, you know, small talk, and then but we're going to work it out.
It'll work out.
Bring them along.
Bring them along.
So
Let them be part of the process.
Yes.
exactly, and the
What I do.
already talked with Van
Oh, yeah.
about the letter for Sacred Fire.
Yeah.
I have to bring one to Egypt as well. So
I'm
we'll
gonna get more.
manage.
I'm gonna send a bunch
Yeah,
more.
that would be really great.
I'll send a bunch
Yeah.
more.
Maybe
Like to
because
meet
then I
you.
can arrange.
Hi,
You're on Facebook?
Karen. Nice to meet you. I was Sunday at
Okay.
the Malieveld.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I was holding the drum
I'll
while
send
you
them
were
right
in
to you.
session to the theater.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, and I well, I had to go home, and I saw you coming in, but
And
no, it's
family,
good
the
time to
mother
meet.
wants to
Yeah,
Jewish.
yeah.
Only
Happy you're here
Jew
over
in
in
Germany
Holland.
wanted
I'm happy to be here. I
give
like
them
it
the
here.
opportunity.
Mhm.
Because
Very nice.
nobody
Yeah.
in the
Very
Netherlands
nice.
wanted,
It's very nice to see that there is so much movement that we
the only
don't hear
person
about.
in the Netherlands when they became Jew in Germany. who
Well,
stood
but
up
there's
was
also a lot of
Abraham
movement
Schiphol.
at home.
So
I have a lot of contact with the chief film engineer.
They are welcome
Have you
here.
heard about him? No? He's in Vancouver.
You can't put up walls and
And
expect
he's,
anything to work.
No.
When you
he
exclude,
set
it
up
don't work.
his dad actually with a lot of
You have to
elders
open up
gathering
whatever you want,
in
whatever you
Alberta in the
accept.
80s and in
Okay,
Colombia.
that's what
And,
So-
they set up an institute. It's called
Now,
Four Worlds
when these
International
fires
Institute.
take place, who's can make them bundles too?
And he's
It's all
doing a
connected.
lot of
It'll always be connected. That's why
And
take some of these coal bundles because
They,
then you
they,
tie
did,
in.
they did a large
that first
program in the
just keeps-
penitentiaries. I don't
But
know
I'm gonna
if
get a
where,
bunch.
where the young native people, when they go to jail, they did a program.
penitentiaries, yeah.
Yeah, they do programs
Yeah.
with
Get you
them
to Kippy.
to do healing and everything with the
Is
talking
that all you
stick.
got was the water?
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
they made this in 4 days.
But I'm
and-
very happy with it
and,
because for
so-
me it's
and Phil is like, he's doing these
it's about
talking circles, and
letting
healing
my
circles.
femininity go and
But he's
need
also
that.
setting up now the foundation,
other half.
in a foundation in Panama, because it's like in the middle of the north and the
That's
south.
Yeah.
called,
And it kind of meets the
the
eagle,
sand
Yes.
from
and
the bottom
he's
of that
like
water.
involved in all these kind of
When I took
connections
it through
with the
the pocket,
Maya
I said,
elders.
Yeah.
And,
In our fires,
Yeah.
he uses a condor and an
Here,
eagle.
they're with you, and that's that
It's
love.
the prophecies when they come together. So, and at
We
every
call it
fire,
love
they
potion.
come together. And we get that healing.
They wrote a song.
I love it. He's like also connected with the Inuit.
thank
Uh-huh.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
Can we
trained
just go-
all these elders.
I've had
I'm working with the Salish Coast
uh,
people. I'm doing a lot of
spirits calling me.
So
constantly, so I have
really,
gratitude.
I'm
I
amazed
was
that you don't hear
4
about
years
it.
or 3 years
Because
ago, I
I'm
was
following
in
it
South
over here
South
and I see all this movement
And
in
I
the
went
States.
to
Oh.
okay with my family.
See,
and
I
after
don't
that,
see it.
I got my period.
Where I am, we
It
don't see
was
it.
not
Where,
my
You
where
know
we
the,
are.
the Facebook page,
Yeah.
is like walking the red road.
Giving me messages.
I
ever
don't know
since
that
I
one.
traveled to the,
No.
to the cave.
It's
there's
like
this
70,000
wise woman there in
likes,
front,
and
Okay.
it's walking the
Go
red
through
road.
Okay.
to a next level.
Where
Oh,
we
yeah.
are, you know, we get a
Travel
lot.
a lot.
We get a lot of people
And
who don't want to share.
Maybe 2 months ago,
And
she
so
wasn't
we've
there.
been working in.
It's
She was, well, she was there,
We've
but
been
she was
working in
asleep.
those
And
communities,
she
trying
said,
to
you have to take
get
me
it
in,
open
you have
up.
to
Yes,
bring me
So-
because
to
that's what Phil is also
some shaman
inviting the
tour
communities
there.
to,
Yes.
to share. So he's also connected to the Maya elders
Yeah,
in
but
Guatemala, like Don Alejandro,
Uh-huh.
They made this movie together, Shift. And,
Okay, I saw
for me,
that.
you did see
Yeah.
that? You saw the Native American
Yeah.
guy in there, that's Phil.
Okay.
That's Phil
Okay.
Lane.
Yeah. Okay.
And, but he financed the film, helped them, financed it.
If you ever laid a
And
fire,
the Maya elder, he's
just put
moving
one green in
all to the different countries. And he was also coming up to the Hopi land.
they'll tell you what
Okay.
to do with it
And,
anyway.
but they didn't invite him. He
My
was
cousin
not
said I
invited.
put some of that in
So
my
they
pipe.
did a
I thought,
ceremony
really?
outside
That?
of
Yeah.
the secret ceremony.
Yeah. Yeah.
I said,
And but it was
oh,
very
okay.
powerful. I mean,
I'm gonna try it. Not yet. I don't know if I'm ready
time
for it.
to
But when you
open
put
up.
just a little
And
green,
they
all it
have
takes
to
is a
open
green
up
because
because
it's energy.
everybody's got the prophecy of the people coming in, the rainbow people.
Yeah,
somewhere.
They're getting you ready.
there's a lot of trauma.
You got lots to do
It
because
has
the
to be,
women are
and it's
stepping
not
up
going to
It is
heal.
healing.
everywhere.
It's not going to heal if we close the door. It
Exactly.
can only
It's
heal.
about humanity.
So, but I invite, I also took the Hopis through France and the Netherlands last year.
Yeah.
And it's very small circles, but
from
But you know, they get also a lot of resistance because they are sharing in Europe, and so they're being blamed that they earn money by it. But it's not earning money, it's just cost of living.